Okay, hi everyone again. It's very interesting to tell hello when you already were on stage and were spoken twice, I think. Now I just took off the shirt which organizers gave me. It's very hot with that one, so now I look nicer, I hope. Anyway, so today the goal is to talk about product owner and the only skill that good product owner needs. So I guess as you are expecting to get the very good answer that after 45 minutes you leave, you come back to work, you do that one thing, and you are best product owner, yes? Yes, that's the promise I made, tough promise. Okay, let's see how it goes. Slides are already on SlideShare, or you can find it from here, all the slides, or directly on SlideShare, so those who want to use them later, feel free. Yeah, let's start. So who am I? Repeating that again, I'm the co-founder of VoroPay and president of Agile Lithuania. So because this is the company that is introducing that, trying to advise you to do a good job, so who already paid some money for these guys that really need them? One hand, yay! Okay, is it tough or you don't understand how to do that? That's an interesting question for me as a product owner of that product. Have no time? Okay, that's an interesting. Or you don't have money. It's very interesting when we created the system, one comment was, can you create a system that you can get money, not to spend the money? And so, yeah, maybe. Okay, so please find time, you have lunch, and there is a link how to do it. You cannot see it here, but you can see it's voropay.com/scape. And if you don't know how, you can always find me and ask. Let's see, it's a very interesting experiment for me. And yes, you can get a prize, I mentioned. So yes, I'm doing this, and about Agile more, we run this Agile Coach LT, which is a blog and training center, and I teach at Vilnius University and now in TVM, how it's in English, International Business School. Yeah. So that's my Agile career. I got all my experience from actually two companies, Lavasoft in Sweden and Adform in Lithuania. And yes, I'm certified as normal or real professional. You need to have some badges, so I have some. I'm really expert. This is proof. But the more interesting or fun for me is that actually companies are inviting to help them, to coach them. So this is few companies that have been to. So it looks like either I'm telling something interesting or they don't find anyone more interested than me. So let's see. So that's enough about me. Let's talk about today. So who is here again? I'll try to ask the same question. Product owner. Can you raise your hands? It's more hands now than last time. How that can be? You get used to raising hands, yes? Perfect. So I will do very, very short intro of what the product owner is. So for those who have no clue, we will get to it. But that will be very, very short. And then I'll talk about 3 stories and 3 skills that actually the product owner, I think, should have, which is very, very important. And then hopefully we will derive from that Team Weaver wants to sponsor session, buy a license. No, I don't want to buy a license. I want to do presentation. And the conclusion, which hopefully will drive that one skill that you actually need. So let's start. Product owner. So you already did that. So what are you, who raise your hands, doing? What are your roles? What are you doing? Product owners. Don't be shy. Someone said, own a product. Okay, can we be more precise? What is your everyday job responsibility? I know in Lithuania we hate this interaction, but supervision of the product. Manuals needed for business. Take care of the backlog. That's the guy who was in my training. Yes, you are right. Yes, actually, it's interesting. I hope that this will be very, very fast. Actually, if you read, for example, Scrum Guide, it has a very simple definition that the sole person who is responsible for managing the product backlog. There's 2 key things here. There has to be one person not a committee, not 10. I often go to companies and they say, I'm developer, I have 6 product owners. I mean, it's like, I'm a child, and I have 9 nannies. Which one to listen to? So that's the same. And as you said, managing the product backlog. That's his main job responsibility. Of course, there is a bit detailed description. What does that mean? So first, you have to express product backlog items. So you have an idea, or the client told you an idea, so you have to write it down in some way. You have to be able to explain it. Your goal is to order it, or prioritize, which word you like better. So you have to make sure that on the top, what we are doing are the most important items, and then the least important go down, so that's your role. You should look at the value. We're not building software, doing any project just because it's fun. Yes, it's fun, but we want to bring the value, so it's your main responsibility to find it, not the development team. And you have to ensure that what you do, the backlog itself, is visible, transparent, and clear, so everyone is looking at it, can understand it, even CEO, even the developer. They can find it all the time. It's not only on your computer, somewhere hidden. So that's the rules. And the last one, ensure that development team understands those items. So you have to write it in the way, as a product owner, that even developers can understand it. So this is just a copy-paste from Scrum Guide, which I pointed out. I think that the most important words that you have to remember. And as I said, I don't get deep. We can have a session about all this, but this is the definition. If you don't have time to read Scrum Guide, which is 14 pages, and you got it in Lithuanian, so you can look at 15 minutes video made by Henrik Nyberg. That's the best video about product owner. So if you're a product owner and haven't watched this video, fail, bad. Watch it, it's very, very good. And actually, I always rewatch it every half a year or so, because you always can think, do I do this? How good I do this? How good I do this task? Because he goes through all the process and explains it very, very clearly. Henrik Nyberg, who made it, so really advice to look at it. So that's the intro part. So now you know what product owners should be doing. So what is the main responsibility for product owner? Managing backlog. Yes, we got it first. Good, let's go. So the first skill, or the first story, comes from Sweden, from company Lavasoft. I was the guy there, came responsible for development department, trying to update the Adaware product that we were creating. But the interesting fun part is that the development team wants to use Scrum. That's very nice, let's do it. In development, we can do whatever we want. But what about those managers, CEO included? It's company building one product, so actually CEO is very interested in the product, and marketing, sales department, web department, everyone cares about it. So what to do? How to make sure that they can allow us, development, to work in Scrum? What I did, I said, I get all those people to one room and said, you have 2 options. We can work the old good way. When you come with a task, shout, throw it to development, and we start implementing that. The next day, the other one comes, throws it to development, and they start working on this one. Does it sound familiar? When sales guy, marketing guys comes with a brilliant idea, puts it to developers, then the next day another idea is more brilliant, so we start working on that. Anyone familiar? Oh, a few of you. The rest, of course, have perfect processes and everything goes smoothly. I understand that. It's a crazy example. So I say we have this was in our company. So I say 2 options. Either we do it like this. So if we have a task which actually takes 3 days and we are perfect in estimating, so the first task we will finish, if we're working on 3 tasks at a time, after 7 days. The second one after 8 and the last one after 9. There is another way. We could say, let's finish the task we started, then take the second one, finish, take the third one, finish. So the first task we will deliver in 3 days instead of 7, second in 6 instead of 8, and the 9 will be the same. But actually, there is a thing called shifting your mind. So actually, we will do it much faster. Because in the estimate, we added that amount of time that will need us to shift. So that's why it's 3 days. Actually, it's 2 days. So if we start working like this, we'll give you the first task in 2 days, in 4 days, and in 6 days instead of 9. Here we have more time to work on new stuff. Which one do you want? That was my question to them. So which one do you think they said they want? This one or this one? Sorry? third. Yeah, it's 2 actually, so, but this is the same. But yeah, they said, let's do it this way. That's fine. That's perfect. That's what we want. I said, yes, I got it. So now the only thing is to create a product backlog. I wrote you an email. You put me all requests you want for this release. Let's agree on the priorities. Let's order them together in this room. How do you think it went? Sorry? Everyone wanted to be first. Sure, yes, his feature had to be first, his feature had to be first. And so after 2 hours discussion, we managed to get 2 first priorities. 2 out of like 30 or 15 was it. I said, that's fine. We have enough work for 2 weeks. We will meet next week again, and let's work on it together later. So basically, I was not empowered to make any decisions. I was in development, I knew about the business, but couldn't make any decisions. But actually, what I did, I was the facilitator. I managed to put these guys around one table and to create one single backlog that they agree on. They had a discussion, and he had to convince him that his feature is better, more important than his one. It's not me making that decision, because, guys, this is one company, you have to agree. Of course, before you agree on that multitasking thing, but when you get the first agreement, they cannot say no and now do everything at once. Yeah, you say, we already agreed, we're not doing 5 things at a time, 1 thing at a time. So one of the main skills I think project owner has to have, he has to be very good facilitator. And when I go to companies, they say, we assign some business analyst as a product owner, or the worst case, if it's a bit smaller company, CEO takes this role, because he can make all decisions. How much time do you think he has to work on the backlog? That would be good, yeah, 10 minutes a week. How often do you think he gets all people together and discusses with them? He just makes decisions, yes. So that's why it's often, even if the role, if we would think the best CEO, the best product owner in small company would be CEO, because he can make all the decisions at once, usually it's a very, very bad idea. There has to be some guy who is actually more as facilitator, because then he has time, he has responsibility, he makes sure this is really done, and just arranges that everyone is on the right time, in the right meeting, they have everything, he has everything prepared. When I came to that meeting with these guys, I had everything in tool already, put it on PowerPoint, so we just ran the discussion. Not everything else was organized around them. So that's one of the key things that I think you should think of. And if you are a product owner, or you want to be one, or you're thinking about your company, try to teach product owners this skill. I don't know, go to some facilitation courses, coaching courses, because that's a very, very important skill they have to have. Not making decisions, but facilitating, making everyone happy. So that's skill number 1. Let's go to skill number 2. So what was the second company I was working for? Adform. Oh, good. You remember even the slide about me. Yes, that was Adform. This is the logotype that looked in 2012. Now it's a bit different, more modern, so just for fun I added that backlog. I joined that company, and voila, let's use Scrum there. I managed to convince Alexei, who was here when Alexei was presented his presentation before. You remember what he said? A year ago, he didn't believe Neil's stuff, and now he's implementing that. You can ask him about 2009. I think this is deja vu. When I went to that he said, that Scrum doesn't seem to work. I can give you a pilot project, give this team a pilot project and try it out. If it works, we will see what it happens. So it was the same situation, actually. So he was my manager. I got the team and the pilot project and said, I need to convince that Scrum works. Actually, at that time, I was a product owner and a Scrum Master for that project, so it's a bit mind-blowing thing, but I think I managed. So what did we do? We took a project which was called campaign swapping. It's a nice picture, but it doesn't mean anything, just illustration. It was a pet project from CEO. So CEO says, that's a great idea I have. This will change our future. We need to do that. Very good project from pilot. Yes, very, very good. And then he brings you all ideas and you look at it and, oh, it's almost, with these 5-6 people I had, it's like 2 years of development, at least. And I know that when you start building, he will have more crazy ideas. Okay, what to do? I cannot tell, no. So I say, we have that elephant, let's do the hard work. I'm a product owner, so I need to find a way to slice that elephant. I talked with CEO, I get back to the team, talked with them, again with CEO, again with the team, just to make sure, and sliced that elephant to smaller pieces, and I managed to get, I think, the tail, or I don't know, the very, very small thing that I think we can do in 2 months. In 4 sprints, we should be able to do it with some extra tasks we had to do. So I think it was about 1 month project for 6-man team. So we got like this part, just that part. I convinced the CEO that if we do this, we can have the minimal viable product. It will work. None of the very few features, but it will be the main functionality. And let's see what it happens, and then we will continue. So that's, I don't know, it took really a lot of my energy and time, but as a product owner, that's what I thought the right thing to do. And we did it. And we released it, and the result looked like this. This is the product, this is the market. What do you think I try to illustrate here? Sorry? Yes. Actually, we earned €0, litas, Danish crowns, whatever, for that project, because when they went actually to start selling it, it doesn't fit. It's a very good idea. Theoretically, it makes all the sense. Many agencies put their money together, share the banners, like the information, and we deliver it, like we optimize. So we get the right user to the right agency. That looks everything like perfect. But it doesn't work because they don't like to talk each other, they don't like to share budgets, and many other things that cannot. So instead of doing all that elephant and learning it after 2 years, we learned it after 2 months. Just for side note, 2 years fast forward, this is the current website, and the product now, which is the second, actually the description is called the Mindsight Platform. So actually from that project, after half a year of learning, we started a new project, which was similar but different, if you understand what I mean. And this is now one of the main key products of the platform. So it was a great learning opportunity, but that specific project actually failed in sense of business, but it proved that we can use Scrum, yes? 30% of ad from revenue now, wow. When I left it, it was, I don't know, just a very small piece, so yeah. But perfect. So good baby. I created it, nice, yeah. Okay, so just fast forward, but the point is that this one was 0, and that we learned, we did something, and now it's the main thing that we do. So I cannot tell the CEO was like crazy or something. Of course, they always have good visions and good thinking, but you have to help them to make it feasible, to check if this is really what market needs. So product owners should be, as well as facilitator, the business validator. You have to find a way to convince all those people on the left to really validate their thoughts. It's hardest with as high ranks you go. It's hardest to convince CEO because they know everything. Then CFO maybe or CTO is a bit easier, but still, this is one of your key jobs. So again, if we're talking about skills, I like to read books about influencing people, about running good meetings, about how to sell your idea without someone knowing that you're selling it to him. Yeah, it's called brainwashing, I think, in terms. But it helps because it's for good reasons. You have to find a way to convince other people that they have to validate ideas. And again, Scrum with all this slicing thing helps a lot. So that was the second story. So let's look at the third one. What company do you think I'll talk about now? Paysera. They are partners. Yes, I'll talk about them as well. But yeah, that's the current one I'm working. We're creating VoroPay, the system, and brother ViaPay. So what actually I'm doing, again, I'm a product owner or CTO, but actually working at the same role. And we're creating the backend that can connect wallets and merchants. In simple terms, we have a backend, which is our main core business. That's what we want to do. We want companies that keep your money, banks, payment institutions, telecom providers, to connect to this side so you can pay from where you keep your money, Paysera, Bankas, SEB. And on the other hand, we want to connect all the merchants, for example, the restaurant systems, the gas systems, now local is connected. If they don't have any system, they can use mobile application. So they put the bill, you pay from what you have, and they are happy. Simple as that, yes? The problem for me is that although our main goal is here, it happened that these guys are a bit slow. So what we needed to do, we needed to create our own app, as I said, a brother VioPay that can charge your credit card, and this is how you get paid. It would be easy enough, but then we saw that there is not everyone has this automated software system, so we need to create our mobile this application that a merchant can actually enter the sum and get paid. And this one is kind of, you can donate, or what you looked at as well, back into support. So now I'm the product owner with 4 products, if you can say. The business says our focus is here, of course, because this is our strategy, but you have to find the answers and to work on these products as well. So the question here is how to decide which feature to build when you have lots of requests from different sides, but you have very, very limited resources. So I go to this slide very often. I think most of us, or most of you maybe even saw this, because I truly believe in it, that now, when I have limited resources, I have to agree that statistically, if this is what everything we want to do, there will be lots of things that clients will never use. There will be some things that clients will sometimes use, and there is things that clients is the core feature and clients want to use. So the question is, how for you as a product owner to find these? And yeah, what decisions you need to make to get those. So, example, which is easy to show, the hardest decisions I made. So one of them is, this is our app, how it looked in 2013, August, when we just released it. This is a payment screen. If you already entered the credit card, it saves it, so you just need to enter the PIN code to confirm it. What's feature everyone wants on this screen? Or everyone says they want? No, you saw it before. No, it's a bit more down to the earth. What do you usually forget? Sorry? Yes, PIN or password reminder. It's like, how the hell can you create a feature, enter a PIN, and you cannot change it? I mean, that has to. Actually, we lived without it till March last year, because it's very few people. They found an email and wrote it to email, so we changed it. Because it's early product, it's very, very few people, comparatively small amount of number using it. And I used development time I had to implement other back-end features and working on it. Although every time I talk with my CEO, with my partner, with my operations guy, where is that remind me password functionality? So as a product owner, I got tired and said, okay, let's add a screen that says, if you want to change it, write an email. It took us like 1 hour, 2 hours to add, yes, save the problem and solve the problem and move on. And again, because I have very limited resources, I want to find these features, and there's lots of things here. While this functionality, although everyone talks about it, we got like at the beginning 1 email per 2 weeks that I need to change the password. So it's really somewhere here, yes? So I'm making decision, maybe for me it's better to lose 1 payment rather than not to implement some strategic feature in the core itself, yes? But as a product owner, you have to take a lot of heat about it. You have to make a decision and live with it, and every time explain for everyone around you in the company and in startups, like, why you're not doing this? Why does we don't have remind password? We have, write an email. Our guy will change it manually, call you back, and you will have a new, you can reset, we will reset it and you can set a new one. Okay, this was fine again for some time. We're expanding, we want to new markets, more people are using it. And then I said, I see the email that you get actually 3 emails a week. Now it's time to add the feature. So now, actually, yesterday, I think Apple version was released, or 2 days ago, that you can change your password PIN if you forgot. So look at this time scale. Look, as a product owner, I managed to live more than a year without this crucial feature, but I had very, very hard time doing that because I had to answer many, many times why it's not in the product. Is it good or bad that we didn't have it? I don't know. I consider it good because I hope we spend that very limited time and development time that we had building the very important features in the backlog, connected that Medicinos Bankas or other systems, launching Lukoil and other restaurants and arenas and stuff. Although it's obvious that some would argue me that it was a very, very bad decision. You should add remind me password or PIN code immediately when you create such a feature. So I look at product owner as a gold miner. You know, I have never been one. Has anyone tried to do this job? Good, so I can tell anything and we will agree, I guess. I imagine this job like this. You come and you see a huge mountain and then you say, okay, that's a huge one. I cannot dig it all. The best would be they can dig it all, take all the gold and take it, yes? Like the normal approach, a project. We have a project. How much would it cost us to dig all hill? Then take all gold, and that's done. That's the 100% project scope. But and in traditional way, probably you would do that. They didn't do that in America. We don't do it in Agile. We say, what's the most likely that here will be the gold, and let's cut it. Let's try to dig it here. If we try to dig it and we don't find it, probably we will move on somewhere else. So as a product owner, I think you have to be that gold miner. But I don't know, but I think these guys are the most frustrated because probably 9 times of the time they dig in the area, they don't find anything. Yes? And someone, even if they have manager, blames you. Why are you digging here? Dig here then. So what I want you to communicate that it's very, very hard job to be as a product owner. It's actually quite easy to be a good product owner to tell yes to everything, but I'm not sure if the output will be the best. Yes, if you say, yeah, no problem, we will dig all the hole, just all the hill, just give us resources, send us 2,000 people, we make the whole hill down and we'll get you all the gold. No, we don't have 200 people, we have 2 or 1, so that's a problem. So, product owner, I think this is one of the skills, so to know that what you will decide will be very, very hard because lots of people will question it. So, be aware of that. So, it goes pretty fast. So coming to conclusion, the easy way would be to say that these are the 3 main skills. Be facilitator, try to analyze the business and decide what to do, and be a gold miner. And that's it. You are the perfect product owner. Yes? Easy? Lots of smiles. Yeah, I've been doing that for more than 5 years now, and I think I try to realize it's harder and harder job. At the beginning, I thought it's easy. When you really do it, it's harder and harder, although you get more and more experience. Strange. So, what do you think we could summarize it to actually 1 skill? I promised you 1 skill, so I want to get that. What would be the summary? How these 3 skills could get to 1? What product owner should be the best at doing? Negotiation, that's a bit here, so, yeah. Observing the market, the area, yes, that's very much probably here and here. But still, maybe not, at least what I think, not the only thing. I would be, actually, when I prepared for this presentation, I came up with myself, but then I looked at YouTube video again, which I said I tend to do every half a year or so before preparing presentation, and oh damn, Henrik told it in this video. Sad. And this is the point where he talks about it. This is a screenshot from the video. So what do you think their answer is? Yeah, you won the million. Saying no, I think I realized is the hardest thing because you have to tell yes is easy. I just added to the backlog. It definitely won't be implemented in 3 years, but I added to the backlog. Then I have a backlog of 300 items, and for some reason I always need to discuss it. So I tend to say no and say I'm not adding this feature to the backlog because I'm sure we won't implement it in the next half a year. So why just to add it? So telling no is the hardest thing. Just to prove that you can listen to this, but he says it is the most important word for product owner. Actually, Henry Krimper says his Pat, his character in this movie, practices it every day in front of the mirror. I don't do that, but I guess I should start. You wake up in the morning and no, 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 no. Good, I can go to work now. But it's funny, but actually that's psychological thing. To continue that, which I was trying to point out as well, that the most important job for a product owner is to decide what not to build, it's his words. What to build we will figure out, but what not to build, why to tell no for that remind me password functionality, or now I'm bugged with add all actios in English, promotions and places where you can pay with VioPay. I'm saying it's on the VoriPay website, it's that part, it's not the app. So I'm trying to convince myself to avoid to do this, not to do this, but although marketing and sales pushes me. And the point is I have to take consequences. I have to be able to answer all those questions and honestly tell why I'm not doing that and practice in front of mirrors so I could be telling no. I meet lots of product owners who actually are quite good facilitators, really analyze the business, and maybe even finds that gold in the queue, but they cannot tell no. And they tell yes, yes, yes everywhere, every time. So for me, this is the hardest skill. And if you're a product owner, try to practice it. Tell no. If it's easy, write me an email. I'll buy a beer for you and we can talk. If it's not easy, you can write me an email as well, because I will love to talk even more with you, how you manage this, because this is what I think, I love talking about how to tell no to especially a CEO or partner. So that's it, commercial again, make the payment. Now there is change password functionality. If you already used and forgot your password, you can change it now, PIN code. It's easy. So just do a good job. And I'll try to do my best as a product owner for this system just to make sure that we have mobile payment system easy to use, fastest in the market that we can. So thank you. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Okay, thank you, Vaidas. I just had information that we have quite more time.
You said we have less time, now we have more time. That's
yes,
good.
Because...
I can tell one more story.
Lunch is
late.
Yes.
Oh my
God.
So,
please, questions. A lot of questions. Maybe any questions? Okay, I have one question.
Okay.
You were speaking that a lot of functions are not used in product, like
yes.
45%.
It's statistics says so.
Yeah, statistics says. How about not functions? Because business don't care about functions sometimes. It care about money more than about functions.
So that's probably...
If your function rarely used, but it earns you a lot of money.
Yeah, so that's probably it's bad to judge, as Jürgen pointed out, if you have only one metric, the number of times I hit this button, that's definitely probably might be wrong. That might be a function that is used very sometime, but brings you a lot of money. I was discussing with a bank, for example, and he says, this function is used very, very little times, but when it's used, it's 1 million liters at least. So definitely you don't look only on one metric, the number of hits, you look at your business, and you should look here more, this part is what makes us the most money, or brings us the most value, or brings us the least damage. Because that could be another option. If you don't do something, it will destroy your brand or something. So it's not definitely, please don't understand that I wanted to say just measure the usage and this way you decide. No, you have to put many more metrics in your mind, but make that decision. But my point was that as a product owner, you will always be bugged with that 100 or even more %, yes? That's your everyday job, just live it. I always kind of be tired hearing, Business is pushing us many things. We want to use Scrum, but they come up with 100 ideas, and that's why we cannot do it. So my answer is always, if ever your business will have too little ideas for you to work on, you already bankrupted. I mean, it cannot be. Business or idea clients have to have way more ideas, requirements, things to do than you can implement, because that's the healthy way. The question is what to implement first and what to do piece by piece. So getting that elephant sliced, because I could just as a product manager tell, yay, this is pet project for my CEO. I have 6 teams, 2 years to work on it. That's safe, yes. I have 2 years job. I'll be the expert here. Let's just do it. And after 2 years, we'll come up with a great system. Okay, but maybe we should fail in 2 months and then get back and try to create something new. And that's why we have this demand-side platform or real-time bidding engine that makes us money. So I'm not sure if this answers your question, but my point was this: you have to add more metrics than just usage, that's for sure. Like, remind me, password functionality does not earn directly any money for us. It just allows us not to lose some customers, actually. So that's why we implemented it now. Any other questions?
I see. There and there.
Yeah, so you mentioned that product owner should only be one person, but how would you deal with a really big project? How would you scale the role of the product owner if he cannot handle it by himself?
Sure. So definitely, even in Adform, we were, 6, 7 product owners when I left. Here they have even more now, because we have, when I left, 60 developers. So 8, 9 development teams. So definitely, it's a huge company working on one product or project, if you will. So we had more. The point to tell that you need to have a sole product owner is probably we should add it for the team. So team must know which is the main product owner or the only product owner for them. If I have a development team, I know that my product owner, facilitator, business analyst, and everything will be this guy. He then can actually, maybe it's a bit another picture, it will be easier to explain. Come. Hop. So a team has one product owner, but if you have more teams, like one product owner can handle more than 2. If he can, he's doing his job very bad. I can tell him immediately. If team is 6, 7 people, I assume. So what we have for this backlog, he will be the product owner, but one of his stakeholders will be other product owners. So what we did, we had a structure where every week, I think, we met all the product owners together with chief product owner to review company level backlog and derive it to team's backlog. So we did that as normal weekly activity that we in the product owner's team with chief product owner on top have to agree on priorities in a company level. We call it company roadmap, and then derive it to our team's product backlogs. But looking from team perspective, my team always knew that I always ask Vaidas first about what to build. If it happens that in our product in backlog there is a feature for this guy who is product owner on another team, he's a customer. When we start building, I get in direct contact with him and team talks with him directly. The same if we build feature for this guy, while building the feature, they can talk directly. But when to add it to the backlog, we solve it before. So from team perspective, you have to have one product owner. But then it can actually scale pretty easy, and there are examples how to do it. I had a separate talk on it you can find on Agile Coach LT. So that would be the answer. But team has to have one. Because it's the same as with kid. Hopefully he thinks that his mom is product owner and he always listens to him, and if he have 3 nannies, those I know just sometime, but he has one source of real information. All the rest should be just added. Any other? Yeah?
In a case when we have only one product owner, but several teams and support.
Oh, interesting topic. Yep.
Yes, and product owner is extremely busy always. And in your opinion, what teams can do or support product owner in order to ease his job?
Yeah, that's another tendency I try to hear, that product owners are busy always. For some reason, we don't say that development teams are busy always. It looks like those business guys are doing the real stuff and have many job to do, and we, in development, we...
I mean, when teams have actually end-to-end competence. Analysts,
Yeah,
research, and so forth.
but still. So I tend to say, and actually Scrum says Scrum team is combined of product owner, Scrum master, and the team. So the question is, if you have even an assumption that someone doesn't have enough time, so it's the same as we don't have a developer doesn't have to build it. So you have to solve that problem first. That's what I said, the probably CEO is the worst part here, because it's better than maybe to announce someone from the team, I don't know, system analyst, to be a product owner, if he's good facilitator, if he will manage the product guys, for example. So when I go to companies and they say business don't want to talk with us about Scrum or stuff, I say, no problem, do the same as I did in Lavasoft, the first example. I was development guy, I stood up as a product owner and was facilitator for all these guys. I didn't make business decisions, I just created the backlog, was totally doing this stuff. So to get those busy guys, you know, once a week in a room for 2 hours, usually you can do that. But if you do all the homework, write down everything, sort it out, but if you tell him, this is your tool and now manage the backlog, and during sprint planning we want to be ready and everything detailed, he says, I don't have time for it. So my answer is, it's better to have real product owner as facilitator from development side rather than to push business to be a good product owner if they don't see a value, or at this time they don't say that this is what we want to do. So that would be my suggestion, which worked for me, not sure, maybe. I was consulting another company, they actually invited business guys. We had training where were 6 product managers, so business side people, and 6 development team guys, because they had the same issue. And the biggest problem for them was that product managers don't sit with us. That's a communication issue. It's what, 10, 20 meters, 2 buildings to walk, but still. And I said, so why developers cannot go and sit with them? Do it another way. Don't ask business people to come to you. Go to business people. You say, if we are this sprint, we are working for you, we can sit with you. It's very now tendency, and you can listen to Agile conferences, we always say, business people need to talk with us. Business people need to sit with us. Listen what Jürgen said. Change yourself. The development guys can go to talk to business people. Development guys can go to sit with business people. Like, do proactive approach rather than reactive. So 2 advices. One, better to have facilitator rather than real business decision maker and just get them on the board. Second, try to get to them as close as you can, but don't give them the tasks they don't want to do.
Any more questions? Okay, here.
I have this question not related to technical or organizational management. Just very simple question. There is a common opinion, and I actually heard it twice already here, that product owners doesn't know what they want. Do you know why this opinion?
So product owners don't know what they want?
Yes.
They don't know what they want. That's, yeah, I always, when I go to any company, they say customers don't know what they want. And it doesn't matter if it's external customer, if it's internal customer, for example, you go to the company and the business unit is the customer. And I say, live with it. That's the reality. Do you know what you want from the beginning of the project? You want to create something new. By definition, project is temporary and gives unique result. If you know what you know, it means you have a chair, you want another exactly chair. That's not a project, that's manufacturing. If you want a new, better chair, that's a project. So by definition, Agile says, customer doesn't know what he wants. He has an idea, the goal, but details, he has no clue. Development team doesn't know how to build it. We know technology stuff, but we don't know exact details, and things will change on the way. So you have to change your perception and don't complain. I say, don't complain that clients don't know what they want. It's good. They will figure out in the way. Let's give them the process that facilitates that. That means iterations, constant feedback, and all Agile stuff. So when I say that I'm a product owner of was Lavasoft, or now I'm the product owner of WaterPay, I'm never going to, come on, the wrong. I'm not telling that that I know what those features are. If I knew, I already would be a millionaire, bigger than Visa and MasterCard. I'm trying to learn by experimenting, by doing smaller experiments, trying to get here. If I do anything which I have no clue, I'm making very, very small, try to release, and if it's here, we skip it, we remove it. One of the examples was a cashback. I still can talk. If you want lunch, you can go, but there is no lunch, so you can. So either you can sit and wait for lunch or listen to me. That's we implemented very early cashback functionality, meaning if you pay, some money gets back to you. And we see immediately, and we didn't do the back end, we just did it in front end, so we show you that you have extra money at the beginning. It was for few clients. It doesn't work. People like to get the discount now. If they came and now the dinner is 7 liters in the restaurant, they are more happy than to say, dinner is 15 liters, but if you pay, 2 liters will get you back, so next time when you are here, you might be able to use it. So we got this feature here, we said it's not working for us, it maybe works in another station, in this specific case with these users we had, it doesn't work, we removed it. Maybe when we change, when different companies join, different merchants, it will change and we'll try it again. If it's here, we remove it, if it's here, we expand it. So that would be my answer. So clients, product owners don't know. Hopefully, they want to figure it out on the way together with the team. That's why Scrum team is Scrum Master, Product Owner, and Development. Not Scrum Master, Development, and Product Owner out. We are 3 roles as one team. Make sense? Or?
We have 5 more minutes.
Questions or minutes?
Minutes, so feel free.
Okay, when you build the product from scratch, it's very nice, but it gets bigger, and once you need to refactor it and add technical improvements. So these tasks come to backlog as well. So how to increase priority of the backlog of such tasks, how to make business say yes? What's your personal experience? Yeah,
so it's many things here you can do, and there is it depends, as Jürgen said, so few examples. First, there is always a strange assumption that startups build everything from scratch. Yes, this is sometimes the case, but in our case, we already have a legacy system which can do many things which we don't use, and actually during these 2 years, as I always tend to say, I removed like 30% of code and we added 10. So we have a legacy system, and like the day you wrote the code, tomorrow is the legacy. So the question is how much? So you have to deal with it. Question is again, is product owner part of the team and is in this discussion, or he's out of the team and just thinking about the business? Because business understands that if we don't do technical stuff, improvements, refactoring, we will get slower and slower and slower. That's the common thing why big companies complain, and actually not big companies, the traditional financial telecom operation companies complain that we have legacy systems that we cannot change, or insurance systems, while like Salesforce.com is a much bigger system and they can change fast. So traditionally the systems were built in that way and you have to deal with it. But product owners have made conscious decisions how much I invest in short term versus long term. If you just build features, after a year you'll have a huge technical debt, and for a year you say, now we are doing refactoring. Half a year, no features, just refactoring. That's terrible for business. So if there is a very good discussion, as I say, Scrum Master and Product Owner are 2 different roles, and they have to have a healthy conflict always. If they are conflicted, one is pushing technical stuff, another one is pushing business, and they come to this conclusion, it means it's the best decisions for the company at that point of time. Is one side pushing is too much, then you have to be getting too much business. If technical guy is too strong, you're getting more technical, no business. So none of them is good. So first, they have to have good discussions and here. Second thing could be allocate, like we have every Friday, we are not working on business backlog, we're working on technical backlog. And team itself, with Scrum Master, decides what is the most important to fix, what they think. Either it's tests, either it's some monitoring system, either it's some refactoring some part of the system. I, as a business, I can tell them, but in that point, coming back to the delegation poker, I'm just a guy who's telling my advice, but it's you guys making decision. So 20% of your time you are working on refactoring, but this is your playground. I can advise because I finished software engineering and I know what database is, but that's it. So one way. The other way is to have, as I say, refactoring sprints. So you know that every 4th sprint, we allocate this time again for technical debt resolving. The worst case is work only on features, and then you are pushing your problem away. Of course, you might find a new job and that problem never will hit you. But I like to hear, like pointed out, this real-time bidding system that we built in Adform, that it's actually was scalable. We always were refactoring it, and now it's really still being used like that, rather than to build something totally ugly, and now they say, oh, yeah, we were refactoring it for half a year or more. So I would not like to get that feedback even if now I'm not the product owner of that. So discussion, allocating time, and making decisions together. That's communication, that's the core word.
Okay, one more question, last one, and then you can go to dinner.
I wanted to ask you, is your product backlog like a wish list of all the features, or you have some process or software before the product backlog so that where you can filter out the ideas where many people can like those ideas or give proofs so that your product needs that?
Good question. In Adform, when we had more people, we had this idea to put all ideas online and then everyone can vote it. And we didn't implement that because we figured out it's quite complicated or complex. I don't know which word to use. In Lithuanian, it's the same. And in Vorapay, we definitely do not do that because, as I say, we are a very small company yet. So we are discussing this and trying to make those decisions as this discussion channel. Like in Adform, we had this every week, a meeting with all product owners, so we discussed. As a product owner, if you want to push your feature, you have to find a way to convince that this is the more important, so it's important to the company. So but then we don't have like standard processes. You have to find arguments. If you come to that meeting without arguments, your feature will get down. So I'm always thinking what I can do to get those arguments. If I need, I make a survey around the company. For example, our support guys were using the same system. So I go to them and say, 8 out of 10 said that this is very important now. Or you get some client emails and then, look, we have 3 emails. These are the clients that email. That's why it is important. So I tend to leave it to, again, a bit chaotic process for product owner to prove all the rest, that this is why I made this decision, that this is more important than this one. But not to have formal process, because I believe that these formal votings usually can be cheated and doesn't bring a lot of value. Maybe in bigger companies, you can have something in between, in the middle, like giving us kudo points. You know, everyone has 100 points and they vote on the features and something like that. But so that was the point of saying no. And I was fighting with some product owners in Adform. I don't keep in my product backlog more than 50 ideas. If it's more, I just delete them. And I always get bugs even. Minor bugs, they have to record it. I always delete minor bugs. Minor means we will fix it when we have time. Sorry, my team doesn't ever have time. They always are working on the most important things. If it's minor, it means it will never get fixed. Don't even log it. If you log it, then make sure it's in priority, at least some sensible priority, or not, we'll fix it in 2018. So my backlog is never longer than 15. My bug list, there is never minor bugs. If someone says it's minor, delete it. Okay, I'm lying. I left some of the bugs in this because some people say you cannot delete it, someone will forget it, so just for the politics, somewhere I leave it, but I never ever looked at them. I say if it's imported, it will come back, we will remember it. I'm sure we will remember. We will never forget a feature that is so cool, but we will implement in 2019.